Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on MisplacedStraws.com where music comes to life. And it's time for the Misplaced Straws Top 10 of 2023. Last week, I posted numbers 20 through 11, which were all great records, but I can honestly say there's a clear line for the top 10. Let's review 20 through 11. At 20 was The Cold Stairs with Voices. 19, The Church with Hypnagogue. 18 saw The Hold Steady and the Price of Progress. 17 is Duff McKagan with Lighthouse. 16, Pattern Seeking Animals with the best title of the year, Spooky Action at a Distance. At 15 is Vega with Battle Lines. 14, Eclipse with Megalomanium. 13 is Margot Price with Strays. And 12, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Dirt on My Diamonds, Volume 1. And rounding it out at 11 is Extreme with 6. On to the top 10. Coming in at number 10, the Gaslight Anthem in History Books. This band's always been a favorite of mine, and they've been gone for quite a few years. This record's very different from how you remembered the band. It's definitely more grown up, and I will say it took a few spins to really register, but when it hit hard. My song pick got to be the title track, History Books. How do you not pick a song that has Springsteen on it? Hearing Springsteen and Brian Fallon together, it's a wonderful thing. Coming in at 9, Lucinda Williams, Stories from a Rock and Roll Heart. Lucinda is such a brilliant writer. She spent through so much in her life and career. Check out her book, Don't Tell Anyone the Secrets I Told You. It's the best rock memoir of the year, possibly ever. It's a fantastic book. Her last few records, while the lyrics were still amazing, felt the songs were a little on the weaker side. But working with the amazing Jesse Malin, she brings it all together for this record. For my song pick, New York Comeback. Again, how do you not? Bruce Springsteen, Lucinda Williams, Jesse Malin. It's a great song. Check it out. Coming in at 18, DiVirgilio, Morrison Jennings with their record Sophomore. Their debut took everyone by surprise, and this record does too. It's not just a continuation of the amazing acoustic guitars and harmonies of the first record. These three incredibly talented guys build on that, create something new and different yet again, and it's just amazing. The song pick for me is The Weary One. I think it's just one of the most beautiful songs Neil Morris has ever written, and that says a lot. Coming in at 7, The Foo Fighters, But Here We Are. It's much anticipated record following the loss of Taylor Hawkins, and it pays off. It's a very emotional record, extremely well written. Grohl does some of his best work ever on this record. I think the song quality does level off a little bit in the second half, but the lyrics, not only about the loss of Taylor, but also his mom, more than make up for that. Song pick for me is Hearing Voices. While a lot of this record is about loss, for me, Hearing Voices captures it perfectly. Coming in at 6 is our second site for Neil Morse. This time his solo record, The Dreamer, Joseph Part 1. Neil is a master storyteller. And even in a case like this, where we all know the story of Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Neil will still keep you on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what happens in the next song. I love the cast of vocalists he brings with him to voice the various parts. And I could say I've heard part two, which will be out in early 2024 and could even be better. Song pick, Before the World Was. Nobody could write a love song that isn't quite a love song like Neil Morris. It's gorgeous. Check it out. Brings us to the top 5. And at number 5 is friend to this site, Mr. Tommy London, and Emotional Fuse. You probably know Tommy from his Sirius XM gig, but you need to hear his music. After fronting New York City's The Dirty Pearls, he is now back with guitarist extraordinaire Matt Hogan for his solo debut. And it's an incredible slice of 80s influence, but still very modern rock. Catchy songs, big choruses, Matt's incredible guitar. Trust me, check it out. You will not hear a better guitar player than Matt Hogan. For my song pick, Boom Boom. It perfectly shows off what this record is and how much fun it is. Coming in at 4, Camelot of the Awakening. one of the best symphonic metal bands in the world, and I'm a huge fan of Tommy Karavik on vocals. His stage presence just grabs you. I think this is the best record of this band's long career. For song pick, gotta go One More Flag in the Ground. A total symphonic metal masterpiece of an anthem. When I was covering the live show over the summer, I went up to the balcony and looked down during this song, and you just see the crowd with fists in the air. It's probably my second favorite song of the year. We'll get to number one. Coming in at number three is Jason Isbell and Weather Vanes. There is no better writer than Jason Isbell, and there's no better backing band right now than the 400 unit. I love how I get lost in his songs. A song like Cast Iron Skillet, you just learn about a place I've never been, but I feel like I know the people there because of his songs. He just gets better with each record. For the song pick, Save the World, a plea not only to his daughter, but the whole next generation to pick up where we failed. It's one of the most powerful tracks on a powerful record. Coming in at number two, Jason Bieler and the Baron von Bielski Orchestra, Postcards from the Asylum. This record was actually number one on my list from the minute it came out until the first week of December. We'll get to that. Jason is brilliant, and this record captures everything he does from the Zappa-esque moments to the slow, haunting melodies. It's pretty close to as perfect a record as you're going to get. It has everything. For my song pick, Mexico, my favorite song of the year by a mile. Can't count the number of times I've listened to it. His voice, his guitar, his writing, it's just perfect. That brings us to number one, and it's Peter Gabriel with IO. The record is a work of art. It was released just below the line in December. Beginning in January, Gabriel released one song with each full moon. But it wasn't just one song. Each song had three mixes: a bright side, a dark side, and the inside mix. The tour behind it was one of the great experiences I've ever seen. And even though you had heard all these songs by this time the record came out in December, when you heard them in his sequencing, you hear the brilliance that is Peter Gabriel. For song pick, I actually picked two, and it's my site, so I can do that. For the dark side, I went with the mix of And Still. It's just a song that'll give you chills. It's amazing on all fronts. For the bright side, I went with the title track IO. It's just classic Peter Gabriel at his best. So there you go. This year's top 10 of the Gaslight Anthem with history books. Check out the title track. At 9, Lucinda Williams, Stories from a Rock and Roll Heart. Listen to New York Comeback. At 8, Nick DiVirgilio, Neil Morse, and Ross Jennings with Sophomore. No better song than the Weary One. At 7, Foo Fighters, But Here We Are. Check out Hearing Voices. At 6, Neil Morse again with The Dreamer, Joseph Part 1. Make sure you listen to Before the World Was. At 5, Tommy London, Emotional Fuse and Boom Boom. 4 is Camelot with The Awakening and their anthem, One More Flag in the Ground. 3 is Jason Isbell's Weather Vanes with Save the World. And number 2, Jason Bieler and the Baron von Bielski Orchestra's Postcards from the Asylum with the best song of 2023, Mexico. And at number 1 is Peter Gabriel with IO. And check out the dark mix of And Still and the bright mix of the title track IO. There you have it. Thank you guys so much. This has been an incredible year. I'm so fortunate to be able to do this and share it with you. And, every time you guys click on an interview or a concert review, it allows me to do the next one. And I just truly appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Have a great 2024. We'll talk soon.